So this is my Buttercup, and I love my Buttercup because my Buttercup can hit for 50. My Buttercup at this level can hit for 47,000, and I don't pay to play. This is a free to play character. Of course, you need to collect all of the shard store stuff to unlock young Buttercup, but if you've got a decent guild, which again is a free-to-play element of the game, you can do so. So with my Buttercup being so angry and so vicious, I naturally want to build a team around her so that she can take care of business. Now, what I've got right now is I don't have the best setup for her. I have a General Kenobi lead with a Zeta Barris, so there's a lot of protection there. I've got Buttercup on the back line. I've got an R2-D2, and I switch between Grandmaster Yoda and Emperor Palpatine depending on who the enemy is. So I do okay. I don't have any problems against Rebel teams, any CLS team pretty much. The only time I lose against the CLS team is when the gear level is too high or the speed is too high. But you know, an evenly matched CLS team with a Chase or even a Thrawn in there instead, it's no issue whatsoever. Buttercup just rolls through them all. The problem though is that I stealth Buttercup to protect her, and that's not the way you use Buttercup because she gets 150% protection. So I put together 5 characters that I think, and I've got no way of testing this really outside of Galactic Wars, that I think may be the ultimate team. Now, of course, let's not count characters that I don't have. So I don't have Darth Nihilus, who I think may go in this team as well, but I don't have that player unlocked. I also don't have Traya or Scion or any of the new players. So hopefully this team is within reach for you too. So let's have a look at this team and why I think it might be nailing it. Yes, that is IGA8 in there. So first we have Darthy Boy as a leader. Now you're going to need Zetas for this. It's not an easy one, and the reason we have Zeta is because Empire and Sith allies have a 30% blah blah blah, but why we have this on is here. While Darth Vader is alive, enemies immediately regain damage over time for 2 turns whenever damage over time expires on them. So whilst Darth is alive, he is constantly inflicting damage over time on the enemy. Now the reason this is important is because the Wampa's Cornered Beast Zeta, which I am yet to do, Wampa has a 50% counter, so without the Zeta, Wampa has a 50% counter chance. Alright, so she's there. But also, when you Zeta, Wampa has a 10% counter chance, 5% health steal, and 5% offense for each damage over time on each enemy. So potentially, that's going to be, if Darth Vader is potent enough and inflicting on enough enemies, that's going to be a 100% counter chance for a character that deals, on average, 30,000 damage with a basic attack. Womp. Deal physical damage to a target enemy and inflict damage over time for 2 turns. Alright, so Wampa's also doing damage over time for her own ability. Then we have IG88. Now IG88 unique. IG88 has 45% critical damage and deals 20% more damage for each enemy suffering a negative status effect. Now we know that IG88 can smack. He can really hit quite hard. Not Wampa damage, but he can certainly hit hard. But if Darth Vader is constantly damage over timing, and the Wampa is constantly damage over timing, then this is going to be a constant for IG88. If you add in this, his rapid fire, deal physical damage to all enemies with a 55% chance to inflict ability block for 1 turn, and a 50% chance to inflict defense down. So he is also, or it is also, I've assumed a he, sorry, could be a she, I don't know. It is also going to be debuffing. Healing immunity, which the Wampa has as well. Then we have Bobber. Now, Bobber's a bit of a surprise in this one. This is just for him. Okay, we don't care about this. What we're thinking about here is death from above. Deal physical damage to all enemies with an 80% chance to inflict ability block for 1 turn and a 50% chance to inflict damage over time for 2 turns. Okay, so here we go once again with that damage over time, which is going to give Wampa a 100% counter chance on 5 living enemies. Okay, inflict ability block on the selected target for 2 turns. So we've got 2 characters that inflict ability block. We've so far got 4 characters that inflict damage, or 3 characters that inflict damage over time, and one of those characters gets up to 100% counter chance on enemies with damage over time. The last one I've put in here, and I'm not sure about this because I'm just not sure. I'm not sure about this. I put Grand Moff Tarkin in here, and the reason I put Grand Moff Tarkin in here is because Grand Moff Tarkin... No, that's the wrong one, sorry. Well, no, Grand Moff Tarkin gains equal to its potency percentage and 20% potency per debuffed enemy, so obviously that's going to be 100%. But the reason I got him in here is for intimidation tactics. Because crit chance down, offense down, rebels can't resist these debuffs, and then gain 15% turn meter for each debuffed enemy. If you use Grand Moff Tarkin at any kind of level, you know that he's a really quick one. Especially against a team of rebels, it's just, you know, go after go after go after go. It's really useful. However, the problem with Tarkin, and this is where I want your advice, is that if Tarkin is in there, constantly debuffing, which helps with IG-88's power, then Darth Vader becomes exposed because there's no tank in here. So, you know, Wampa's great, but Wampa doesn't taunt. There's no tank in here. And I'm wondering what tank would go in here. I mean, General Kenobi would be a great tank, but that wouldn't really help in terms of, let's say, territory battles, dark side territory battles. Let me know what you think, because I'm thinking about running this team or uploading it. I love my Wampa. This is my little buttercup. I mean, look how pretty she is. Look at that. You are a pretty Wampa there. Oh, my little pretty Wampa. I want to build a team around this character, and I want to know if you reckon I've got this right. And I want to know if you reckon I should have a constant debuffer in here who reduces turn meter, or I should sacrifice that for a tank to try and protect Darth Vader. Of course, if I put a tank in here with a taunt, that means Wampa's not going to get hit, which means Wampa's not going to counter. There aren't many attack over area characters anymore. You know, when you play an arena, that doesn't happen really, does it? It's all single shot, so you know, Wampa could be ignored, and it could be the case that by the end, if I put a tank in there, by the end of it, you know, Wampa's just standing on her own, and everyone else is dead. Let me know what you think. I'll be really interested to know what you think.